Hey, this is Dr. Reiner, host of your independent doctors of Pahrump, and
Creig Christensen. Good evening, Pahrump.
he caught us on a offline discussion, right?
There you go.
Yeah, we didn't realize time runs out, but so we've got obviously it's a live show, and we'll probably hopefully get our routine callers in because they sure does help us out a lot with not having to have a scripted show.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah.
I was really busy in the office today. Actually saw a case of shingles in a pretty young patient today.
Is that right?
Yeah. So, of course, they say, I think I got bit by something. And then
They got all the little vessels.
yeah, and then you look on the back and it's just like, yeah, you just see the group blisters on a red base, and that's that shingle.
And it follows that nerve root all the way down.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, one-sided. So, hey, Ray.
Yeah, Ray the Flagman here, first caller as usual.
There you go, Ray. Hey, I caught your article in the magazine. Good article, Ray.
Hey, I got the front page too, huh?
Yeah, you did.
Jesus. Somebody told me, said, Flagman, you're famous. I said, yeah, I'm the Flagman. They said, no, you're famous. And they held up the Pahrump Life magazine, the front page. So, yeah, it's kind of flattering, but I'm not the guy that really goes out for that publicity. But why not let people know what I'm all about?
Yeah, it was a good article.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Well, my questions tonight, I'm going to give you 3 questions, and I get these tapes from Chuck Augustine, and these are powerful tapes. And there's one on CDC and these MMR shots that kids are getting at 18 months. And there's a huge amount of autism that's resulting from these shots, even though everybody talks, oh, no, the shots don't do it. If they give the shots at 3 years, there's quite a bit less autism resulting from these shots. If you can comment on it, I'd appreciate it, because it's an epidemic. They know about it since 2001. Back in '86, there was like 1 in 10,000 got autism, and now it's something like 1 in a few hundred, and it's absurd. That's my first question. The second question is, if you take an aspirin, should you let it dissolve in your mouth or swallow it? How is it more effective as far as whether it be a headache or as far as chest pains? And the third question is NyQuil and DayQuil. Do they work, and is there some danger to them? Because I read on the label about liver damage. So those are my 3, and maybe I'll call in later, but I think this should keep you busy for a while. And I'm glad we got 2 doctors, no waiting tonight. Really good.
There you go, Ray. Thank you.
You know, the autism and immunizations, there's a lot of people that believe that.
Yeah.
And
Well, there are a lot of people that believe in global warming.
no, I agree, but they're not the same people.
No.
In fact, I think you find that the people that are into the autism linking to vaccines are the opposite of global warming. And as far as a credible thing, I think there's more credibility to the autism related to the immunization than there is to the global warming. There's a book out there, and I was trying to read it, but I haven't had a chance to. It's called The Hockey Stick Illusion. The Hockey Stick Illusion deals with all the mathematics behind the global warming issue, and it pretty much spins it off as another hoax. But anyway, I don't know. You know, this is like, it's very difficult because you're fighting the obvious epidemiological issues of people, this nuance of high levels of autism, and there wasn't such in the past. The population has definitely grown.
But relative to the spike in the autism, has the population grown relative to the spike in autism over the last 10 years?
That's the argument, that it doesn't exist. But, you know, MMR has been around for a while, so is it linked to it? I mean, if I haven't done any studies, haven't read the literature, so I don't know.
Has autism spiked in China or India?
I don't, you know, those people don't do a lot of reporting. In fact,
and they don't do a lot of immunization either.
No, but they, yeah, and you're right. I mean, I don't know what those health studies show. So, I mean, how do you fight the school districts and the people that, you know, want to have the MMR to enroll in schools and things of that nature? I think you basically I mean, it's going to take an independent research study to do the the MMR stuff to be able to come up with that, and certainly it's credible evidence. But what I mean, I don't know. I think it's enough to say if you have a newborn, don't get the MMR. Okay, if you're worried about it, wait until the child gets 3. I didn't worry about it because I got we got the measles, we got the mumps.
Yeah.
I mean, we got smallpox.
That was all we got.
That's all we got, and oral polio,
Tetanus.
And then the oral polio is a real problem. There were actually a few cases where the parents had not been immunized to oral polio, and they immunized the baby, and the parents got polio.
Go to heck.
Because the virus is a live attenuated virus, but it mutated in the gut and then infected the parents because they were cleaning the baby's poop, and then they would get the polio. So there were a couple of big lawsuits that came out of that. So not all immunizations are what they're cracked up to be. There's always a here's the other thing. It's a risk-benefit ratio. What is the benefit of mumps and German measles? We all got it when we were young. I mean, besides orchitis, which is an irritation of the testicles of the male, I don't know how many people died as a result of measles, mumps, and rubella. Birth defects, I mean, you can always get those immunizations later. So, I guess I'd have to look at the data and read it, and I haven't had a chance to do that. But I think that's a real issue.
It's a good question, Ray.
Yeah. And then let's see, what was his second question? It had to do with
aspirin.
Yeah, it was aspirin, and then he asked one other thing about but anyway, aspirin and NyQuil, Dayquil. Okay. Aspirin and chest pain. The reason you take aspirin with chest pain is an antiplatelet activity. So yes, it's baby aspirin. You swallow it. Aspirin is not affected by the absorption like small intestines. Aspirin turns neutral into the gastrointestinal tract and passes right into the gastric cells.
And I'm not so sure it's absorbed across the cell membrane by chewing or putting it under your tongue either.
Yeah, I don't think so because because once it hits the acid in the stomach, it's probably better to swallow it, because once the salicylate molecule, which is an acid, hits the acid in the stomach, it basically turns into a neutral molecule, and then it passes through into the gastric cells, and that's where it turns back into an acidic molecule, and then it goes into the bloodstream. That's why aspirin, pure aspirin, can cause ulcers, right?
Bleeding.
Because it can actually lower the pH of a gastric cell to the point where the cell ruptures. So, and they've actually done studies where they put an aspirin molecule on or aspirin tablet on a stomach lining, and they actually just watch it eat through it, because it'll burn right through it. But most of the absorption takes place in the small intestine. So really the enteric-coated aspirin, if you really have to take it right away, it should not be the enteric-coated aspirin. If you're taking it regularly, it should be the enteric-coated aspirin, because you do not want to upset your stomach and burn a hole through it, especially if you're older, if you got diabetes or any other thing that would delay gastric emptying. You don't want to take non-enteric-coated aspirin. Very, very important. And so if you're taking aspirin for chest pain, it's meant to be an antiplatelet, almost like TPA when they inject into you, that and a beta blocker, but not many people have beta blockers on hand, and a full 325, not a baby aspirin. Okay, if you're worried about chest pain, do not take a baby aspirin. That's nothing.
It's like hunting an elephant with a slingshot.
Pretty much, go hunting with a bear.
On the NyQuil, I think the reason that the companies put possible liver damage, you've got people that actually get out, use NyQuil every night just to sleep.
Yeah, it's alcohol.
Yeah, and so you don't want to do that. the anti-decongestant and stuff in, and everything dries out the mucus, and but there are actually people that use it every night.
It's 40 proof.
Yeah.
It's 20% alcohol by volume. So it's basically, probably
a shot.
It's probably stronger than Boone's Farm, I think. I don't know, but plus the antihistamines in there. So they want you to be careful of anybody with anything they're going to, alcohol can cause, repeated use can cause liver damage, and it does irritate the liver. So that could be why they put that on there. And Dayquil doesn't have the alcohol, but it has a lot of different antihistamines in there. So, and I think it has something else, but NyQuil does have alcohol, so that is, and it's got a lot of this stuff, so it's kind of like drinking syrupy wine, and so be careful of that. But that's why it puts you to sleep with the antihistamines. And it's kind of really, here's the thing that I don't like about that. Alcohol actually is a vasodilator. So here, if you're having trouble with a cold or flu, and now you're going to go ahead and take...
mucus is running.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to take NyQuil, you're actually going to dilate your blood vessels, which is going to increase the congestion in your nose, but it will put you to sleep, and you'll mouth breathe through the whole thing and wake up with a sore throat. So the whole object behind that doesn't really make sense, but it does help you go to sleep. And speaking of going to sleep, we're going to go to break, so don't go to sleep. We'll be back in a few minutes. Hi, I'm Dr. Michael Reiner, your host of the Independent Doctors of Pahrump, a TV show that airs Monday night on Channel 46. I want to remind you that I am a practicing physician in Pahrump, and I'm an independent practitioner, which means I am not bought by any insurance company or corporate medicine. We provide the highest level of care. We have nurse practitioners. We have other physicians, specialists who come to our office. Please come visit me. I'm at 1316 East Calvada here in the heart of Pahrump. Thank you.